Hi, it's me again. And since you're here, I guess you know what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna be reading more stories. And I have an interesting one here today. It's another SCP story. It is SCP-004. The... what was it? Let me pull it up real quick. The 12 rusty keys and the door. Doesn't that sound interesting? I guess I can go ahead and start reading it. So that way I'm not keeping you waiting. Item number SCP-004. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. When handling items SCP-004-2 through SCP-004-13, proper procedure is vital. The items are not permitted to be moved off-site unless accompanied by 2 Level 4 security personnel. Under no circumstances should any other component of SCP-004 be taken through SCP-004-1. The effects of doing so are as yet unknown, and the current cost of experimentation makes further research impractical. Should any of the objects contained within SCP-004-1 breach containment, or the facility be breached, the keys must be brought inside and the door closed prior to the activation of Site-62's on-site warhead. Unauthorized removal of keys from the testing areas is grounds for immediate termination. Level 1 clearance is required for basic access to SCP-004-1. Level 4 clearance is required for use of SCP-004-2 2-13. Description: SCP-004 consists of an old wooden barn door, SCP-004-1, and a set of 12 rusted steel keys, SCP-004-2 through SCP-004-13. The door itself is the entrance to an abandoned factory in data expunged. And I also have a picture of what the door looks like. It doesn't really look abandoned, though it looks like one of the doorknobs is missing. Which, oof, they should try to fix that at some point. Next, I have some sort of chronological history documents. Let's see. July 2nd of 1949 is the first one. A group of 3 juveniles trespassing on federal property near blank find the door. According to their testimony, they found a set of rusted keys in an iron lockbox determined what door the keys unlock. The juveniles are taken into custody after they contact Sheriff blank when one of their friends, SCP-004-CAS-01, goes missing. July 3rd of 1949. Local authorities find the severed right hand of SCP-004-CAS-01 8 kilometers from SCP-004-1. Other parts of SCP-004-CAS-01's body are found scattered as far as 32 kilometers from the factory. Under interrogation, the apprehended juveniles tell authorities that upon opening the door with one of the keys, SCP-004-CAS-01 was torn into several pieces, each of which disappeared. At this point, the SCP Foundation takes over the investigation. July 4th of 1949. SCP Agent Blank obtains the keys from the local authorities to begin testing. Tests show that SCP-004-2 through SCP-004-13 all fit into a single lock on the large bar door. 12 Class D key to enter the room. No, I misread that. 12 Class D personnel are assigned to test the effects of the door. Of the 12 test subjects, each tried trying a different key to enter the room, only 2 survived. Opening the door with any key except SCP-004-7 or SCP-004-12 caused the test subjects to be torn apart in multiple directions. However, no dismembered parts were found until later. At the time of writing, only 2 parts of each subject have been recovered, with the exception of the subject using SCP-004-blank, whose pieces were scattered in close proximity. The others have, for all intents and purposes, vanished from existence. Of the 2 surviving subjects, only one, having its SCP-004, returned unharmed. The other came back in a near catatonic state, able only to remove himself from the room and then collapse on the floor, and had to be restrained to prevent him from gouging out his eyes. See Appendix A, Mental Health Effects of SCP-004. The subject using SCP-004-7 said that he had entered a large room, possibly big for the size of the attached building. After his exit, SCP-004-1 was propped open and an armed squad of Level 3 personnel entered. The size of the room is impossible to measure, and the door frame and the individuals in the room are the only part of the room that can be felt or eliminated. I suppose that means the room is incredibly dark. There isn't any light. Alright, let's continue. July 16th of 1949. The juvenile suspects in Sheriff Blank are terminated. Ouch. August the 2nd, 1949. Blank is declared a hazardous area due to unexploded ordnance and fences erected in order to prevent civilian ingress. Tests to determine safety of exposure to environment behind SCP-004-1 begin. December the 1st, 1950. Space-time anomalies resulting from exposure to SCP-004 are confirmed. Testing is suspended until further notice. July 2nd, 19 blank. The unaccounted for remains of SCP-004-CAS-01 appear unexpectedly outside SCP-004-1, despite being killed decades before. The remains of SCP-004-CAS-01 are not decomposed in any manner and are still warm to the touch. Blood remains uncoagulated. The remains are remanded for testing. July the 4th, 19 blank. The unaccounted for remains of one of the 12 original test subjects appear in a similar manner to those of SCP-004-CAS-01. The remains have been designated SCP-004-CAS-02. Records suggest that both SCP-004-CAS-01 and CAS-02 used SCP-004-blank. March 22nd, or no, 21st, 1999. With a massive proliferation of nuclear weapons and World War III only blank years away, construction has begun on a site inside SCP-004-1. The site is to stock supplies for blank person days. Oh, that's interesting. That's just like bombshell right there. World War III. Huh. April 22nd, 1999. Or 21st, 1999. I keep misreading that. Blink has ordered the site inside SCP-004-1 to be expanded to include emergency storage for all mobile SCP blank specimens and a blank petabyte database for the storage of all SCP data. The facility is now referred to as Site-62. September? I think that's September. Yeah, September 25th, 2000. Site-62 is operational. Labs and containment units are complete and can contain the most dangerous specimens. The backup of the SCP database has begun. January 25th, 2001. Due to time anomalies, see space-time anomalies below. All personnel working at Site-62 are now required to reside on-site permanently. Families of personnel are to be informed that loved ones perished in an industrial accident. Clone bodies have been prepared for funeral. October 14th. Or no, not October. August 14th, 2003. Massive power outage across northeast United States throughout Canada. Due to the initial failure of multiple SCP generators, Site-62 was without power for 53 minutes. During those 53 minutes, those on site were completely without any source of light. They reported sensing, quote-unquote, creatures and people, although no abnormal entities could be seen or felt. Selected facility personnel were allowed to read blank. Appendix A said the creatures sensed were of humanoid size, but otherwise similar to the massive green creature described. Interesting. Space-time anomalies. SCP-004 seems to propagate spatial-temporal anomalies. Personnel leaving the facility report losing time. Those who have been on the site for weeks, or in the site for weeks, insist that they have only been in the facility for several days, and records of work completed and supplies consumed support their claims. Other temporal anomalies involve SCP-004-2 through 13, especially the reappearance of SCP-004-CAS-01 and SCP-004-CAS-02, exactly blank years after using SCP-004-blank. Blank has been assigned to investigate all aspects of these time anomalies. Spatial anomalies include the impossibly large dimensions of the area opened by SCP-004-7. Similarly, the 2003 blackout incident suggests that there exists an alternate plane of existence within the same space that Site-62 occupies. Additional notes. Testing on SCP-004 reveals that 10 of the keys open SCP-004-1 on a dimension where the laws of physics and topology are significantly different than those of our home dimension. Test subjects meeting these hostile conditions are torn apart, their bodies deposited in various locations, only 3 of which have been verified to be on Earth. Material deposited at 2 of these points appears immediately. Material deposited at the third appears exactly blank years into the future. The other 7 locations are currently unknown. Current testing focuses on 2 avenues of research. The first is finding ways to survive SCP-004's hostile topologies. The second data expunge suggests that SCP-002 through 13 may, or -004-2 through 13, may open doors other than SCP-004-1. Appendix A. Mental health effects of SCP-004-12. All Class D personnel using SCP-004-12 return in a catatonic state, unable to speak. Some may have enough energy left to try to claw out their eyes. Of the 16 subjects, only 4 survived. Only 1 has regained speech following long-term psychotherapy. He was able to tell the psychiatrist that he saw a massive green creature, so large that much of his body extended beyond his field of view. He reported innate fear of sudden recognition, as if it were something buried deep in his primal fears, quote-unquote. A forced implantation of incomprehensible memories. Subject displays acute anterograde and retrograde amnesia. Appendix B, additional information. Item SCP-004-14. Data discovery, September the 2nd, 1950. Origin of object. Object was discovered elsewhere in the factory area, in previously undiscovered manager's office. Description. Object appears as a large, unvarnished wooden box. The box may be unlocked with a safe key, SCP-004-7, as well as all 5 of the unsafe keys. See document SCP-004-1. Upon unlocking SCP-004-14 with SCP-004-7, the box opens automatically on hinges. The volume of the space inside is precisely 5 times greater than the outer dimensions imply. The items placed within while the lid remains open do not affect the weight or any other properties of the box. When the lid is closed and locked, however, all items inside vanish irretrievably. Personnel locked inside the box are also irretrievable, although losing personnel in this fashion appears to affect significantly the dreams experienced by data expunged. And I think that's all I have for the sun. Wasn't that interesting? I personally wouldn't want to visit that place, so I think that's creepy, and I don't want to be dismembered, so I think I would give it like it wasn't that scary, so let's say 6.5 out of 10. Yeah, I think that works. It was a very interesting story. It just wasn't really all that scary. I mean, being told that, like, oh, a giant green oozy monster gives you very terrible memories or something, and it makes you want to gouge out your eyes. Like, okay, I just will go in the door. And I'll do it. That way it won't hurt me. That was interesting. And if you guys are still here, thank you for watching. If you fell asleep due to my ramblings, I hope you have a good night, and I hope you have very, very scary dreams of the green monster. Just kidding. See you later. Have a good night. Bye bye.